Hey everybody, how's it going? Another little cologne video for you today. I hope everybody's doing very well first off. Today I wanted to just suggest a couple colognes for the fall-winter season. I've kind of done this already. I said what my fall-winter colognes were going to be that I'm wearing, but I have a lot of colognes that I like to try and everything like that. So obviously there's always different things I'm finding in my collection that I forgot about and things like that. And one cologne that I definitely forgot about that I actually kind of like is Ultramall by Jean Paul Gaultier. And there's two in the line that I would suggest. And these aren't unknown colognes. They're not hidden gems or anything. They're fairly well known. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know these very well. But nonetheless, I thought I'd make this video. First, I would recommend Ultramall, which is essentially, if I'm correct, a flanker of Le Male. But Ultramall, pretty well known. Everybody knows it. It's very, very sweet. It's intended for men. However, I think it's rather unisex. It's very, very, very sweet. I've done a review on this one if you'd like to watch that, but that's the name of the game. Very sweet, okay? It does have a little bit of that kind of sweetness that you would associate with more modern designer colognes, that kind of clubbing style cologne where they're just very sweet and a little bit cloying. This one definitely has that. However, there are some things about this one that I prefer much more to things like 1 Million and things like that, because the main note, I guess, note that you pick up at the top of this is pear, and it's a very good pear. Pear is not a fruit that I'm familiar with in colognes. I have a lot of colognes that have fruit notes at the top and things like that, but I don't really get pear a lot, and it's just a nice change. It smells very good. Underneath that, you get a very good vanilla. It's a very excellently blended vanilla. It's the kind of vanilla I always say I like, where it's kind of creamy, maybe a little bit more towards what you would expect in a baked goods sort of thing. It's not powdery or super sugary or anything like that. And then there are, of course, other things in it. There's some cinnamon, there's woods and things in the base to keep it a little more masculine. But this is quite feminine at the top. This one's very overpowering. It's extremely strong. However, I think it still can be worn. I think that what I do, and a tip that I give to a lot of people for colognes that you want to wear but you think are just a little too strong or cloying, wear it under your shirt. Do one spray. Don't go crazy and spray 2 sprays. Just do one spray on your chest. Put your shirt on. I have one spray of Ultramall right now on my chest. It's so strong. It will project still, regardless of if I have clothes on or not. And people will still smell it. You'll still smell it, but it won't be quite as powerful if you sprayed it perhaps on your neck or the back of your ears or something like that, or your head if you're bald like me. And I think that works. Certainly people still are not going to like Ultramall. I totally understand that. It is very sweet. But after that really nice, but still, quite cloying at times, opening wears away, there's just this lovely, best way I could describe it is really, quite honestly, like churros. You get this creamy, milky sort of vanilla mixed with cinnamon and some woods, and it makes like a churro sort of smell. Very good. I really do enjoy it. I was just kind of looking for something interesting to wear today, and I just said, why not wear Ultramall? Let's do it. Why not? What do I got to lose? So that's that. The other one, of course, is the famous Le Male, again by Jean Paul Gaultier. And this one, again, is a classic, but I think this is still a great fall and winter fragrance. Some people don't like it because it does come off slightly powdery. And I'm one that really doesn't really like powdery fragrances. They can often come off like baby powder, but I never get that with Le Male. I do get a very powdery sensibility from it, but it never goes into the baby powder, rose powder sort of scent that you get with some. Le Male is mint and lavender at the top. It's a nice masculine sort of thing at the top, but it's got this golden aroma to it, amber if you will. It's got vanilla and cinnamon and baking spices sort of thing going on. And it has basically the churro-like mid, that churro accord is what I'm calling it, at the mids, but it's a little bit less pronounced. It's a little bit more blended. It's a little more golden. I mean, golden, I don't hear that term used. I guess amber is probably what you'd want to say, but golden with a little bit of sparkle on the top, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. That one I think is also very good. Now, you probably could. Now, Ultramall, if I will go back to that real quick, Ultramall, I think, is still very expensive. It's a quite expensive fragrance. I have a decant of it, and that's totally enough for me. So, if you want to try Ultramall, I totally suggest going to like Decant Boutique or something and just getting a decant, because it's gonna probably be the same price as if you buy a sample from like Macy's or whatever. So do that if you don't want to buy the full bottle, because it's like $90. Le Male isn't quite as expensive. You can actually find that one on discounter websites, but there are some alternatives. Cuba Gold is the most famous alternative, and in fact, I've said it before, I think I actually like that one a little bit more because it has this very ever so slightly like licorice smell, this almost like almond sort of smell to it, and perhaps a little bit more woods. So it's a little bit warmer smelling than Le Male. It doesn't have quite as much mint and lavender at the top. So sometimes when I do smell Le Male, I kind of like it more. But I think overall, I probably like Cuba Gold more. Cuba Gold you can probably pick up for $3 to $5. That's an extraordinarily cheap fragrance. And to be quite honest, I think they probably have the same performance. Another one you could try is by Perry Ellis, which is another great bargain company. You can find them on discounters and at your discounter stores like Kohl's and shit like that. Perry Ellis 360 White. If you most of you probably know 360 Red, it comes in that kind of weird lipstick tube with the weird ball at the top. But Perry Ellis 360 White is the same deal. It's white, and that one is basically Le Male, although that has actually a bit of lime at the top. Which is not really in Le Male or Cuba Gold, but it's still very similar. I mean, it's clearly a clone. It's very good. So those are my suggestions. Just two. I actually haven't smelled any of the other Le Males, like there's Le Male in the Navy and things like that. I haven't smelled any of those. I'm kind of curious, but not too curious to go buy a sample or anything. But those are just two suggestions. Sometimes when we get into this fall season, fall has great fragrances. I just made this video. We've all talked about it. Kick-ass fragrances. Those warm, amber, kind of tobacco, leather fragrances are awesome. I think they're some of my favorites. I really love this season for fragrances. It all fits in and makes you real happy and feels good. Cuddle up by the fire. It's good times, man. But sometimes you want something sweet, like not quite so ambery or leathery or whatever. You want a little bit of a sweet fragrance that you couldn't quite pull off in the summer season because maybe that would be a little too cloying in the heat. And I think Le Male and Ultramall are two good suggestions. I think that perhaps I'll make a video of sweeter fall fragrances that might work. I try to stray away from list videos, but sometimes it's fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it's a little bit long-winded. I always am. Hope you're smelling good. I hope you're reading good books, watching good movies, staying safe and healthy. Everybody have a wonderful day. Let me know what your scent of the day is. I always like to hear that, and I'll see you next time.